Hey guys, it's Coach Ryan. I'm back here at Empower, and I wanted to show you guys a way to control our pelvis today. So now there's something called anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. This is body positioning for your pelvis. Now a way to warm our pelvis up is my work. We do something called a mad cat. You'll be on all fours, and you're either going to push your back all the way up to the ceiling, or try and get your belly as close to the floor as possible. Now, I just went through both positions. Anterior pelvic tilt, push your belly to the floor. See how there's a big arc in my low back and my hips. It makes my butt stick out. A posterior pelvic tilt is when your hips turn the other way. See how they tuck underneath me? I'm going to push your back up all the way. There's a big roundness in my back. Arc in the back, roundness in the back. So that's just an over-exaggerated way to show how the pelvis moves. So now, if I were to stand up and show you anterior pelvic tilt, I'm going to stick my butt out. So now it looks like I have a big butt here. Anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt, my hips shoot forward and it's a straight line from the top of my head all the way down to the bottom of my butt. Anterior, posterior. Now, when we're lifting, there's a purpose for each one of these positions. So the basis of all lifting is to have, a nice, safe, flat back. Make sure the spine is in the correct position. Make sure that we use the correct muscle groups. So I'll show you a basic movement through a plank. You can try this at home. I want you to try it out and let me know what you feel. So if we're in a plank, and you do a plank with an anterior pelvic tilt, my butt's sticking out. Now I put a lot of stress on my low back in this position through anterior pelvic tilt. If I were to go posterior pelvic tilt, it's going to help my back stay in a flatter position, and it'll be easier for me to engage my core from this position through a posterior pelvic tilt than an anterior. And squeeze my butt here, suck my belly button in. I'm planking with no pain in my low back. I know that may be a common issue for many people. They're planking or they're doing any kind of core work, their low back hurts. They're probably letting their belly go and try and touch the floor. They're stuck in the anterior pelvic tilt, and it puts a lot of pressure on their lower lumbar during a plank. However, there is a purpose for anterior pelvic tilt. So if I were to do an RDL or some type of hinge motion where I'm in a posterior pelvic tilt, I go to push my hips back. Here I feel a lot of stress in my low back now. My posture's not great in this position. I end up using different muscle groups in my glutes and my hammies to pull myself up. Here I want to use an anterior pelvic tilt. So now, stick my butt out. I'm going to hinge back, so I'm bending at the hip. I'm not bending at my waist. I don't ever want to bend at my waist for this. I'm able to push my butt back. I'm going to reach for my shoelaces. As you see, my back is still flat. My butt's sticking out. It's anterior pelvic tilt. I can come up. If I were to do this with a posterior pelvic tilt, here, I can do the exercise, but it's not great positioning. So there's a little view for you guys for anterior and posterior pelvic tilt and where they have a purpose for where we lift. When I'm doing my anterior pelvic tilting, especially for the RDL, it has me hinge at my hips and not use my lower back. I don't want to bend at my waist. And hopefully that will get you in better position, keep your body safe. And also for the plank, the posterior pelvic tilt there, because it helps keep my body in a straight line. Whichever one of those hip positions keep you in a safer straight line position, that's the one I would use for an exercise. If you have any questions about which pelvic tilting you would use for a certain exercise, you can leave that in the comment section below, and I'll help you guys out. But I hope this helped. See you guys later. Bye.